There are 9 simple steps to total cooking confidence and total cooking freedom. And it's how you cook anything, really for any diet or any desire, and I'm going to share them with you today on the Carefree Cooks Code. I'm Chef Todd Moore, and this is the Carefree Cooks Code, every Tuesday live at noon Eastern. Here's our challenge. How can home cooks cook freely with creativity, confidence, and pride while ignoring recipes and still impressing themselves and others with what they cook? Well, the answer is found in becoming empowered with how cooking works, using dependable and repeatable methods of cooking that work for any ingredient, for any diet, and any desire, just like chefs do. And we'll know we've cracked it when everyone sees cooking as an exciting and rewarding way to improve their relationships, their lifestyles, and their health through better food and cooking. This is the Carefree Cooks Code. Hey, welcome back to the Carefree Cooks Code, everyone. We are a community of people that cook with freedom, with confidence, with creativity, and we get together live every Tuesday at noon Eastern Time to explore these possibilities. We're the Carefree Cooks. If you've never heard of us before, well, this is what we do. We create our own recipes. This brings friends and family together. We learn every time we cook. We wind up creating our own cooking style, all because we're practicing pro methods, and we love our cooking, and it shows. It really does. We're going to talk a little bit more about that today, about loving your cooking, having pride in what you do. But first, I've got a what am I for you today. There it is. There's 5 ingredients here. We've got some pasta, some peas, egg yolks, some cheese, and that looks like some bacon or some kind of meat cut up. 5 ingredients. When combined, they with a very specific method, of course. What do they become? 2 words, 14 letters. Tell me in the comments section below, what am I? Those 5 ingredients together, 2 words, 14 letters in a method that we're going to talk about today. Look, I am dead serious, as you know by now, dead serious about helping to improve your cooking this year. And in just about every Carefree Cooks episode since the year started, I've been promising to help you move your culinary journey forward. And if you notice, I have not taken a day off. I don't stop. I don't get sick either. Do you ever notice that? I'm never on here with a cold. Years and years of doing this, rarely. And if you cooked with me yesterday, you learned a lot of the reason why. We were live from my kitchen here in downtown Baltimore, and you saw how powerful cooking by methods, overwritten recipes can be. This is the thing that gives you the pride and confidence in your cooking that we talked about. And I posted the replay of yesterday's class in our Carefree Cooks community for the lifetime members of web cooking classes to see. And if you'd like to take advantage of the life-changing effects of cooking this way can bring you, the way it has brought so many others, and you want to have access to that live Sautee class replay, I'm going to tell you how you can do it for free at the end of class today. So, as I was saying, I have dedicated myself in this year to creating as many Carefree Cooks as I can. And today's episode might be really one of the most powerful lessons that I can possibly bring you. I've decided that I need to get back to basics in a lot of ways. Yes, we have tens of thousands of people that since 2009 have been cooking this way, but that just means there are millions more that don't. You know, I'm proud of the tens of thousands of people that get it, the tens of thousands that are expressing themselves, that are sharing the generosity of their cooking, of their skills, of their love, all the benefits that we've talked about of cooking your own food at home, but it's still such a fraction. It's such a fraction. So this is the getting back to basics. This is what you can share with someone else. Do you know how often I have people ask me, hey, Chef Todd, do you have a link I can share with a friend? Chef Todd, I've been telling my husband about this for months, and he finally watched one of your videos. Chef Todd, I convinced my neighbors, I quote you, things like this that honestly make me kind of blush a little bit. But when I get that feedback, when people say to me, this is amazing, it works, and I'm so proud of it, meaning you, that you want to tell somebody else, I know. It's incumbent upon me. I would be shirking a responsibility if we didn't get even more people involved. And I have one class for you. I have one method that starts everybody. I've been using it for years, and I've seen how it opens minds to amazing new possibilities in cooking, because it's for any ingredient, it's for any diet, it's for any desire. This is the way to cook freely with confidence and creativity. And the very first cooking method that I teach my students, whether I'm in culinary college or at my cooking school or in web cooking classes, is the basic Sautee method. And the 9 steps in the basic Sautee method are dependable and repeatable. So you can just plug in any combination of ingredients that are appropriate for your diet, or just the ones you like, or just the ones you have on hand. So let me ask you this question. What if the way you cooked was exactly the same each time? What if you could repeat the same 9 steps in cooking over and over again and only change the ingredients? Well, then you'd be confident in how you cook because you've practiced it so many times. And you can be confident that it's going to be delicious because, again, you're using the ingredients that you want or you desire. Plugging any ingredients into a dependable and repeatable method means that you never have to run to the grocery store for that missing ingredient that the recipe is commanding you to buy. And when I opened my cooking school, I offered a free cooking class on Monday nights. A free cooking class. People loved it. They came from everywhere. It was a 30-minute cooking demonstration, and everybody got a glass of wine afterward. I hope they enjoyed the wine as much as the cooking demonstration, but as much as I made them wait for that glass of wine, I also knew I only had about 30 minutes to grab these people, and I wanted them to be so inspired after my demonstration that they would adopt my philosophy of cooking by method over written instructions. And I know many of them had been to other cooking classes at a mall store. We had a local Italian market that used to do it, and they're always expecting to get a recipe and then learn how to cook it. And so often I had people arrive to my free cooking class, which is different than anything else, and they would ask me if I could give them a copy of the recipe printed out. And I would tell them there's no recipe, shaking my head a little bit, and they would gasp, "Oh, no recipe? How can that be? How can you cook if you don't have a recipe?" Well, I knew I had to make the biggest impact in 30 minutes or less, so I can't spend time giving them a fish, so to speak, right? I have to teach them how to fish. You know how that phrase goes. So if I demonstrate just a recipe, that's giving them a fish. But if I show them how recipes work, that's how to fish. So I would always start with the 9-step basic Sautee method. And this is exactly what I taught in my cooking school demonstrations, what I taught in the school, how I teach tomorrow's chefs in culinary school, and what became the very basis for the web cooking classes curriculum and the foundation on which your culinary journey can start. This is the key to all of cooking. So listen carefully, because here's how the repeatable method goes once again. Pan hot first. Most home cooks make this mistake right off the bat. You can't cook with intense, direct, conductive heat of the Sautee method in a cold pan. Add some fat. Doesn't matter what it is. Whatever you want, whatever's right for your diet. Get the fat hot. People make this mistake. Heat the fat, but recognize the signs that it's going to show you when you're ready to cook, when the fat is hot enough. Then go ahead and add what you're cooking. This is everything from hamburgers to tofu. Again, I don't care what you like to cook or like to eat or have to eat. This is when it goes in the pan. We're going to cook it mostly on the show side because that's where the biggest reactions to the heat will be. Don't worry about the no side that's pointing up for now. Remove the item and rest it on a plate for a minute. Add some aromatics like onions or garlic or peppers or carrots or celery or anything else. It really doesn't matter. And at some point, you're going to get so much heat in the pan, you need to take your foot off the accelerator and stop the cooking by adding a liquid like wine or broths or stock, any flavorful liquid. Reduce the liquid, let it evaporate, add a flavorful liquid if you want, another broth, or just thicken that liquid to make your pan sauce. Return the main item and finish cooking in the sauce in a moist method, and there it is. That, to me, is the key to all of cooking. Those are the 9 steps in the basic Sautee method that can be used again and again for an endless number of dishes. And when I used to demonstrate my basic Sautee method in my classes, I normally would make my famous South of France chicken. You might have seen it last night in the live class. And thousands of people all over the world have learned to cook anything and everything just from my South of France chicken. Just from this one method, copying South of France chicken and then changing the ingredients to meet their desires. So you want to see it? You want to see how it goes? All right, here it is. I get a pan hot first. Put the pan on the flame, hot pan first. So important and something so many cooks don't do. You test the heat of the pan by splashing a little water on it. When the water evaporates to steam, you're ready to cook. Not when it scurries around in little bubbles, your pan is too hot. When it turns to steam. Pan hot first. Add some olive oil, any fat will do, and I wait to see when the oil tells me it's time to start cooking. I'm going to choose a chicken breast. Add your protein product. Cook it mostly on the show side till you get some nice caramelization of sugars. Go ahead, remove it to a plate. Then you might have seen last night, I add shallots, and I deglaze with white wine. I reduce the wine till it's almost dry and add some whole grain mustard. Goat cheese was the thickening agent to thicken the sauce, and I return the chicken to the pan and finish cooking it in the sauce so I get the flavor and retain the moisture of the chicken. It couldn't be easier. It's 9 simple steps to the greatest cooking confidence, and you've got any original dish. Isn't that cool? Yes? No? Anybody want to comment or thumbs up? Is this not the key to destroying every recipe ever written? All right, okay, maybe you're picky. Maybe you don't like South of France chicken for some reason or another. I don't know. How about South of Mexico chicken? Let's do the same 9 steps. Pan hot first, add some kind of fat. We'll sear the chicken. We remove it to a plate. Now we're going to add onions in South of Mexico chicken. We'll add some jalapenos. We'll then deglaze with tequila or margarita mix. Just a scoop of jarred salsa out of a jar. There you go. You've got South of Mexico chicken. So who wants to make South of Mexico chicken tonight, huh? I bet you have those ingredients in your pantry right now. Like you could make that if you knew the method. If you just followed the method. All right, okay. I get it. Maybe you're not impressed with that. You're tough. I get it. All right. Maybe you don't like South of Mexico chicken. What if we get into South of Italy chicken? We're going to go through the same 6 steps of the basic Sautee method again, but this time we're going to use garlic. And then we're going to deglaze with red wine. Maybe we'll add some diced tomatoes and thicken it with ricotta cheese. It's South of Italy chicken. Oh, come on. You gotta like that. Everybody loves Italian food, right? Don't you think that making up your own original Italian dishes any night of the week sounds really cool? Yeah, I think it does. Same 9 steps. How about Hawaiian chicken? We use ginger, deglaze with pineapple juice, add pineapple chunks, put some Spam in there if you want. How about Indonesian chicken? Garlic and ginger, deglaze with coconut milk, thicken with peanut butter. That's one of my favorites. I love that. I make that in 15 minutes maybe. You could make South of Greece chicken. Pan hot first, some kind of fat. Chicken, saute olives, deglaze with sambuca, thicken with some feta cheese. How about German chicken stroganoff? Saute onions and mushrooms, deglaze with chicken broth, thicken it with sour cream. You can make chicken marsala with onions and garlic and marsala wine to deglaze the pan. And I'm getting so carried away because do you see how I can make up 15 recipes, to use the curse R word, just by having one method. And I have to stop and apologize for a minute because I do this all the time. I'm so sorry. I'm forgetting about the vegetarians. And I get this a lot. I get a lot of questions. Chef Todd, can the basic saute method work for vegetarians too? Okay, let's forget about the chicken. Just change what it is that we cook. With this very same method, you can use tofu or tempeh or falafel or seitan or mushroom cap. You can make south of France tofu, south of Mexico tempeh, south of Greece falafel in the exact same way. And now everyone can use the basic saute method because it works for any food. It works for any diet. It works for any desire. That's why this is so powerful. This is why if you want to share anything with your friends, if you want to start them on a culinary journey or start one on your own, basic saute method is the way to do it. But I know what you're saying. I mean, maybe that gets boring. I don't know how endless variety gets boring, but you're thinking, Chef Todd, really? Can I really cook anything I want using the same method again and again? Yeah, yes, you can. Oh, you might, hey, Chef Todd, can I use the basic saute method to cook in different styles? Because certainly you would need 10 recipe books, right, to cook in 10 cultural or ethnic styles. That's got to be the case. It's not. Wrong. No, you only need one method to cook any way you want. Because a recipe, again, shows you how to cook one thing. But repeatable methods enable you to cook all things. I mean, who cares, right? Who cares if it's not absolutely authentic paella? It's good to you. Who cares if it's not authentic carbonara sauce? I enjoyed it. It's in my kitchen. If it's good to you, then it's good. And you should be cooking for your goals, for your cooking goals, not the goals of some cookbook author. That's the old way of cooking. And isn't the old way of cooking starting to seem a little backward? Don't you think? Always looking for a recipe? Instead of letting the recipe tell you what to cook, why don't you cook with one method that you're confident in and make up your own recipe? Doesn't that make a lot more sense? And the only reason I'm able to cook for any diet, any ethnic profile, or just dream something up on the fly is because I'm confident in the dependable and repeatable methods of cooking. And remember, it's not what you cook, but it's how you cook that makes you truly free in the kitchen. So if you start with this one method, and forget about cooking with a clock. How long you cook something is really the worst way to cook. And that's the way everyone is taught. Because once you recognize the changes in the food and you start cooking with your eyes, you're empowered. And you'll be ready for another step-by-step method to master. Because, I mean, honestly, saute is not the only way to cook. It's the best, the fastest, the easiest, the quickest to learn, the way I start everybody out. But if you want to see the 9 steps in the basic saute method demonstrated live from my kitchen, you really want to see it in use, you got to see yesterday's class. It was really cool. And I'm going to tell you in a moment how you can see the replay video, just like a lot of people have asked. Okay. Let's see who is using the basic saute method in our Carefree Cooks community this week, using the fastest, easiest, most pride-provoking method of cooking. The first was Paula. Oh, this was cool. Paula used the 9 steps in the basic saute method along with the ingredients that she wanted to use to arrive at this really nice-looking shrimp saute with noodles and green beans and a melty Gouda cheese, she said. Oh, I like that a lot, melty Gouda. Cheryl's using the saute method exactly as presented in the live class yesterday. She made her version of my South of France chicken, and her version looks about perfect. Nicely done. But the thing that I really liked about Cheryl's comment was because she said, well, I might lower the heat next time, or I might add less of this, or I might add more of that. That's when I know I got you. You know, like when I teach in person and I'll ask somebody, how did you do that? And if they look at notes or something, I don't let them look at notes. Close your eyes, right? If you can close your eyes and imagine how you cook that dish. First I did this, then I did that, then I did, oh, maybe the heat was a little too high then. Maybe I should have. That's when you know you're cooking by method, right? When you focus on how you're cooking, and that's what Cheryl did. That dish is going to be even better next time, and it's going to be even better the time after that, because what's one of the tenets of being a carefree cook? We learn every time we cook. She even did Brussels sprouts, just like I did. Good, Cheryl. Using that combination cooking method that I demonstrated in the live class, the best way to get people to eat vegetables that they hate or any dish that you used to hate, to me, is a combination cooking method. And I'll show you how to do it in that class, but it's definitely the best way to cook Brussels sprouts for me. Kim used the Sautee method, but instead with fish instead of chicken. Always your choice to do. And one of the great things about cooking by method is that the way you cook always stays the same, but it works for just about any ingredient you use. Here, Kim is doing a cod with green beans and rice pilaf. Nicely done. Nice plate, Kim. Tracy, what a great story. Tracy and a friend of hers spent all day cooking for another friend who has a health issue. And it reminded me of another great benefit of loving your cooking and being a carefree cook, is that you wind up being compelled to be generous, compelled to share what you create. And Tracy and her friend went about creating 30 meals to help them get through this difficult time. I mean, isn't it so great that you can always reach out and touch someone with your cooking? And you know what winds up happening? You both feel better. Have you ever cooked for someone who's ill and it made you feel great? That's the way to go about it. Nicely done. Nicely done, everyone. I love seeing and reading about our growing Carefree Cooks community and how they're enjoying their freedom and their creativity in the kitchen. It's so cool. But my work is not done. My work is never done. We're going to keep going. We are going to create as many Carefree Cooks as we can, because you keep telling me how amazing it is, so I just can't stop. The what am I today? There we are. The what am I? So if you combine pasta, peas, egg yolks, cheese, and milk, what do you get? You get pasta carbonara. Pasta carbonara. And you know what? Once again, I don't care if it's not authentic pasta carbonara. It makes me feel good. I cooked it for me. I created it, and it's delicious. Don't call my baby ugly. When you cook something, don't let anybody call your baby ugly. Carefree cooking is not about duplicating somebody else's idea of the perfect, authentic dish. It's about expressing yourself. It's about giving of yourself, like we just heard. It's about discovering and learning, but most of all, it's about making yourself and your family feel good, not just one specific person on the internet. I normally let that go. Hey, this was a powerful class, no? Is this not the way to start your culinary journey? And if you know someone that would benefit from a new perspective on cooking, where how you cook empowers you to choose what to cook, and you're confident that it's going to turn out perfectly every time, please like this video, share it with them so they can start cooking as well as you do. Or maybe you're a jealous person, then you might want to keep it to yourself. And you could remain the best cook on the block, right? Because web cooking classes is unique. We all know it. Us Carefree Cooks, the lifetime members, we focus on methods over written recipes. Web cooking classes is the home chef's version of going to culinary school. And you can learn the dependable and repeatable methods the Carefree Cooks use every day to create exciting meals instead of just having to cook dinner. And you can get started with a new membership today, because I'm going to do something that I rarely do. I'm going to offer a free way in. For new memberships only, a free 15-day experience in web cooking classes, straight in, no obligation, no catch, because I have seen the life-changing power of cooking by method, something that's happened to thousands of students since I opened the school in 2009. And you can start your free 15-day trial in web cooking classes. Take as many of the lessons as you'd like. There's nothing been abbreviated. There has nothing been held back. There are no restrictions. Go to webcookingclasses.com/free. free to take advantage of this free offer that will not last long. I can't just give away free memberships forever. So if you really want to do this, or if you want to tell somebody else about it, tell them to go to webcookingclasses.com/free. Like I said, I know you've been telling people about this. Now's their opportunity. Thank you so much, everyone, for spending your time with me on another Tuesday together. This is Chef Todd Moore reminding you that there's a method to your cooking success. We'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.